Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back to another video. Look where we're at. We're back in the car out of the apartment in the little studio that I made, and we're gonna jump right in today. There's a reason I'm back in the car, and we'll talk about it during the video. And with that being said, today we're gonna talk about how to become more effective, how to become more efficient. What are some blocks? How do we simplify things? And so starting out with that, ask yourself, how many times in your life do you make situations more difficult than they need to be? Has your approach been more complex than it needs to be? And in that complexity, in trying to create something with good intention, with all these added bells and whistles, it's actually detracted from what you're actually trying to do, i.e. making things more difficult, making things more complex than they need to be, and therefore draining your energy and taking away your efficiency and your effectiveness. I know I certainly have, again, which is why I'm back in the car doing content here, because what's happened to me, what I've realized is I am making such profound progress and growth, and I'm learning so much in so many areas of my life, and it's beautiful. And part of my journey, part of my purpose is to be a teacher, to be a student and a teacher of physical, spiritual, mental, emotional concepts, all these things that I've been learning and applying, and I'm supposed to teach them, which is why I make content. I've been challenged in making content more consistently because I had made my approach more complex than it needed to be. And so as that pertains to you, I'm sure you've never done this, right? You've been very simple and the most effective version as you've ever been in your life with everything. I'm sure that's you, right? That was me, yeah, right? So what I was trying to do, and I was listening to my intuition at the time, was make things more complex than they need to be. What's most important for me on this channel is that I learn the lessons I need to learn in life through other sources, through people, situations, and I share that wisdom that I've been applying from these situations, these books, these resources, and share them with you. This is what I'm here to do. In that, I thought that I was supposed to do it in my apartment and put a shiny veneer on top and polish the presentation. And there will be a point in my life when I'm full-time doing this in which that will be the case. But in trying to make things more complex than they needed to be, it was preventing me, or I was putting up blocks into getting out the messages I needed to get out and sharing the wisdom that I've been learning and applying in my life. So I was having this block of inspiration, this block because I was putting up these walls of like, oh, I need to set up the lighting in my apartment, and I need to make sure it's at a certain time of day, and I need to, get into it. Was screwing up my whole process of inspiration, of connecting with the divine and making the content, sharing the wisdom in the videos consistently, which is the most important thing. So that's where this video comes from. I simplified things. I thought, well, what makes me happy? What's bringing joy? What do I feel like doing? What makes it most efficient and effective for me? What brings me the most joy is when I get to go to a coffee shop. And you guys know this if you've been watching my channel for a while. And if you have not and you're new, welcome to my channel. My name is Pierce. I talk about spiritual concepts, wisdom, spirituality, and how we can apply them in our everyday lives to improve our everyday lives. So what brings me most joy is when I go to a coffee shop, I get a coffee. Usually I have my dog with me, and I do my writing. I clear out whatever I need to clear out mentally, emotionally, connect with spirit, and talk about, and I journal and write what spirit wants me to share, what I've been learning in my own life, what needs to come through me to share and help you in your life. And therefore, right when I get done writing, I'm in this place of inspiration with my own intuition, with my own divine wisdom, and I get to come in and make a video right away in my car, being connected with that. So all that being said, how does this apply to your life? How does this help you? This video is a reminder for you to simplify things in your life. So if you have been feeling blocks of progress, stopping or having trouble getting momentum started in some area of your life, in your business and your fitness and your health and your relationships, this is a reminder to simplify your approach, to make things less complex, and distill your approach and your method down to the most base level. So for me, I am flourishing in a lot of areas of my life. I started to work out again. Oh, what do you know? It's 11:11 as I make this video right now. What a coincidence. Anyways, and I do get your comments and your messages, guys. I will make a video on 11:11 on angel numbers. I've also been asked to make a video on chosen ones on the 144,000, and I will, and I have those in my notes. But again, it goes back to why I'm making this video. I've been having blocks or putting up things. I've been making it more difficult for me to make content than it needs to be. And instead of getting the important messages out and acquiescing to your requests, which is what you need divine message and guidance on, I had been putting up blocks. So that's why I'm making this video in my car. We're getting back to basics so that I can get into the routine, the consistency of making content every day so that we can grow it together. So please let me know in the comments what other videos you would like me to talk about, what things you would like me to speak on. Please, I appreciate your feedback. I'm so grateful for you for being here. And we're getting back to basics. So I get these things and I'm making videos. This is the beginning of us beginning to build momentum. We'll talk about that in this video as well. So what is it in your life you need to simplify? Do you need to revamp your approach with? And here's the answer to that question. What are you stalling on? What have you been struggling with? Are you struggling on making more money? Well, what's your approach been? What are the blocks that you have up? What do you need to revise? Do you want to make more content? What are the blocks in your content creation process that you've been putting up? Do you want to create and meet new people, or create new relationships, connections, and meet new people? What are the blocks you've been putting up? Have you been stalling in your business? What are the blocks that you've been putting up? What do you need to distill down into basics? This refers to the Pareto principle, the 80-20 rule, which you may or may not have heard of. The Pareto principle, very simply stated, is 20% of your actions produce 80% of the results. So what is it in your life that you need to cut out and refocus on? What is that 20% in your life that will produce 80% of the results? I haven't even gotten to my notes yet. See, this is how I know I'm on the right track too, because I'm inspired. Spirit is coming through me. This is what I've been, I need to get back to this. This is where my heart is so open. My channel, my chakras are so open. I'm so clear. I've needed to get back to the basics and get back to what's important, which is sharing the messages, the wisdom, and creating content. So how many times do we make things more difficult in our lives than they need to be? We never do that, right? I'm sure you never do that. You need to simplify, or you don't need to, but the invitation is for you to simplify your approach. You keep it simple. Part of this is setting yourself up for success. I often use examples about gyms. One question I'm working out fitness, right? Because that was what I built my previous career on. I would always get questions from clients, a lot of common questions, but this one, when someone would begin to work out with me, often they would work out with me in the gym that I was training out of, but sometimes they would travel to me, they wanted to work with me, and they lived in a different area, and they're like, well, what do I do? Where should I go on my days off when I'm not training with you? How do you suggest I pick the right gym? You know what I always said? Pick the gym that is easiest to go to. The one that you like going to, that's closest to your work or your home. Now, why is that? There may be a nicer gym you like going to, but would be out of your way from your routine. So the best gym to choose is the one you're going to go to, the one that's 5 minutes from your house, the one that is inside the same complex as your work, so that when you get off work, you go there. Why? Because that's simple. It's a low barrier to entry. Whatever you're most inclined to go to regularly, consistently, i.e. is the easiest for you to go to, that's the one you need to choose. Because if you get off from a long day at work and you have to drive an extra 15 minutes to get to this place, and you got to bring your gym bag, and there's all this clutter and crap, you're going to miss days. And if you miss days, you are not building consistency. If you're not building consistency, you're not building momentum. And momentum is so powerful. So look at it like me in these videos, right? Thank you for being here again and supporting my content. I haven't been as consistent making content because I was putting up barriers to entry. It was making it more difficult. I needed to have the lighting right. I needed to do this and have my camera all set up, and then unload my camera, and then put the content on my computer, and edit the videos a little bit and polish them and make the nicer thumbnails. I will do that, and that will be a part of my routine eventually, but that's not what is most important right now, which is everyday messages, getting content out on my phone, getting back to basics. So I got rid of all that crap, or it's still there, but you understand what I'm saying. And I got back to, oh, this is what I need to do. I need to go in the coffee shop, have my coffee, clear my mind, clear my heart, get in touch with spirit. What does my audience, what does my community need to hear? They need to hear messages consistently. Today we need to talk about a message about simplicity, cutting out the fat, getting back to the lean nitty gritty, the 20% that produces 80% of the results. This is you and your fitness. You're stalling because you don't want to do this crazy complex diet. It's too much effort. Make it easy on yourself. It's too difficult. It's too complex. Simplify it. Make it easy on yourself. You start small, and starting small will build the momentum. As the momentum grows and you're in the routine, then you can do things more complex. So what I used to always tell people when they're getting in shape, I'm like, see if you can go sign up for a gym that you feel comfortable with, most importantly, and that is going to be easiest to go to, so you can go consistently. You haven't done anything for 6 months to a year at all. So I don't care about complex routines or anything like that. Don't overthink it. I don't even care about diets. Continue to eat how you're eating, one step at a time. You know what I'd say? People who hadn't worked out in a year or longer or whatever, just needed to build momentum. Don't even sign up for a gym. See if you can go on a walk for 15 minutes a day for 3 days in a row or 4 days in a row. Don't worry about what you're doing. Or if you want to sign up for a gym, sign up for a gym that's close to your house, that's easy to go to, and go in there and go see if you can break a sweat on the treadmill, whether it's walking for 15 minutes, whether it's jogging for 15 minutes, whether it's a Stairmaster at a low incline, whatever's just barely challenging enough to get you to go, break a little bit of a sweat and leave. You won. You're good. This is a long-term game. In fact, what I've learned in my life is the more I try to go gung-ho, 100% balls to the wall, I've crashed and burned because I try to do too much too quickly. This is going against natural law. Build the momentum. Natural law, you've heard me talk about this in other videos, is building small, starting small, planting a seed, letting it germinate, watering it, nurturing it, and over time it blossoms. That is you building momentum. And again, I'll use the fitness example, your health, because that's a big area, important area for all of us, or it should be. And it's something near and dear to my heart. But anyways, it's a good analogy for life, whatever you're trying to do. You want to build this multi-million-dollar business. That's great. You want to have the biggest year in sales. That's great. You're making this game plan. That's great. But maybe all you need to do is start making content regularly to start attracting your customers. Maybe you need to do is just focus on making 30 calls to new businesses, or go passing out flyers, or whatever it is. Small barrier to entry. Simplify your approach so that you actually do what you need to do. You're in alignment, and then let the momentum build over time that will begin to carry you. And as the saying goes, the great oak grows from a small acorn. So that acorn, this huge gigantic oak tree, it's a tiny acorn. It's a little seedling. So if you're struggling in whatever area of your life and you're not seeing progress, take a step back. I'm getting back in the gym myself right now that I have a good home base, work's going great, I'm in a foundation, I'm in a routine. I know what I'm capable of physically. You know what my workouts are like? They're like 30, 35 minutes right now. I do a couple sets here for chest, I do a couple sets for shoulders, couple sets for back, I do a couple sets for legs, I stretch out, I break a small sweat, and I'm out of the gym in 45 minutes. I used to do 1.5 to 2 hour long workouts, lifting heavy as hell, deadlifting 400 pounds. I'm so far from that, and I don't want that either. My goals are different. Maybe I'll get back to it. But again, it doesn't matter. Point is, you start small. I feel so good just getting back in there, doing some small things to build momentum. So it's simplifying your approach, getting back to basics, building momentum. How does this pertain to being more effective in your life? Well, when you're consistent Regardless of what you're doing, you're more effective. Being effective and efficient comes when we simplify things. We keep our approach clear and concise. Communicators, the best communicators, do they drown on and get a bunch of blah, blah, blah? Or are they clear? Are they concise? Are they brief? They say what they need to say, 2 or 3 sentences, done, message is done. Otherwise, what happens when you continue to blah, blah, blah? Everything gets lost in the excess noise. What is the message? The message today is to revise whatever area in your life that you're struggling with and simplify your approach. Done. Video's done. That's pretty much the message. Something is effective when it becomes simple because more people can apply and use it. Simplicity. Genius is in simplicity. Your efficiency increases when you lose track of time. So when you get in the flow and you're in the momentum, you lose track of time. It becomes easy for you. But it only becomes easy when you're in the flow. And it's only easy for you when you're in the flow because you've been building momentum. You can only build the momentum when you've started small and allow it to naturally progress. You start lifting 10 pounds of weights. Then you progress to 15 pounds of weights. Then 20 pounds of weights. It happens naturally. But you don't go from 10 to 50. You hurt yourself that way. Natural law. Start small. Build the momentum. Simplify. So that's the message for today. The quotes I'm going to leave you with. The first one, simplicity is about subtracting the obvious and adding the meaningful. John Maida. I don't know who that is. I need to look it up though. This other guy you may have heard of. I have heard of him. The definition of genius is taking the complex and making it simple. That's our friend Albert Einstein, one of the great minds of our time. So simplify, revise, and simplify. Make it simple. Make it easy. And just start with so easy. Here's one more example I'll give you. When I used to struggle with reading, and not that I struggle with reading, I would like, oh man, I want to read these books, but I'm just like, I'm so tired. And like, I was like, I'm going to read a chapter a day. And it might be like 15, 20 pages. And I hadn't been reading at all. I had zero momentum. So you know what approach I took to reading? I said, each day for 7 days, I'm going to read 1 paragraph in my book or 1 page in my book. I would make it so simple that I had no choice but to do it because it was so simple. There was no excuses. I could read a paragraph, takes me 30 seconds. Pick up a book that interests you. Read 1 sentence, 1 paragraph. If you read 1 paragraph, you're gonna go and you're gonna sit there and go, "Why already read 1 paragraph? Like that's kind of silly. That's kind of stupid. I'm gonna read 1 page." And you read 1 page and go, "It's kind of interesting." And then naturally, you're like, "Okay, now I'm hooked." And then the next day, you're like, "I don't feel like reading it all. I'm exhausted." Just read 1 paragraph. Make the barrier of entry so low you have no excuse. Don't even worry about going to the gym if that's trouble for you. Or maybe you want to go to the gym. Focus on going to the gym and walking on the treadmill for 10 minutes. I'm serious. I used to tell clients to do this if you struggled with it. They would go and they'd walk on 10 minutes and they go at a low level, not even intense. But you know what would happen? They would go and get on the treadmill, get done with their 10 minutes of walking, be like, well, like I'm like warm. Now I feel good and I'm already here. So whatever, I'll go screw around on some machines. And they'd be on there for 30 minutes or hanging out. Next thing you know, 30, 40 minutes. Then after 30, 40 minutes of just being there, they would naturally intensify their exercises, their routines. It's consistency, it's momentum, guys. Simplify your approach. And on the days they didn't want to go, some days they would only go and get on the treadmill for 10 minutes and just go walk. And they'd go, well, I went, screw it. That's a big win. You feel really good about yourself because on the days you don't want to go, oh my God, it feels so good when you overcome that part of yourself because that's what transformation is. It's overcoming yourself. Make it simple, revise your approach. Gosh, darn, this feels good. This is what I love doing. And I simplified my approach. I don't need my camera and the lighting and the thumbnail and like wearing the same thing. I was like, but get up, I'm gonna chill. We're just gonna go and do this. Go and have a nice coffee, rewrite it, get back in the car. Let's just make some videos. That's it. Love you guys so much. That's what I got for you today. I'll see you tomorrow is my intention for another video. See you soon. Peace.